No, 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 no. I came here for love. Ooh, ooh. Do you know the rest of the words?
Oh, this is this is the Love Island song you're singing? I'm
Yes.
just watching you like, okay, is this a Taylor Swift song?
You're
So it
like,
was so bad I couldn't even identify the
I
song.
mean, damn.
It
She's
took me a
like,
second. I was like, who came here for love? And then I'm remembering.
Brandon's singing fucking Taylor Swift again. Um, no, I mean, I don't know the words. I don't think it's like a commonly known song, and I don't think they play it every time,
I'm
but
pretty sure they just made it for the intro.
probably. But that was me. I was Ariana.
That was this. So for those who don't know, the Love Island song, I guess, is the Love Island song that they did like their little music video and dance number to is what Brandon was just singing. It took me a moment.
I
I
mean,
was just watching him.
they may have caught that since we're recapping Love Island, and if they're
Mm-hmm.
listening, they know that. But I'd like to think it was decent.
Mm.
You're not going to Hollywood. Not Maggie eating on the pod. I can't with her.
I'm so lightheaded.
I'm messing with
If you don't want me to pass out on the pod.
No, we can't afford that. We don't have any insurance. So but hey y'all, I'm Brandon.
I'm Magdala.
Welcome to the shade of it all.
The
Um
shade of it
this is
all.
our first time doing 2 episodes a week. So that's
Yeah.
exciting.
I was about to say we're doing 3 episodes a week, but I'm wrong. So let me be quiet.
Oh yeah, we were
I
debating
got
last week.
confused.
Yeah, well, it's confusing too because it's just like it depends what you consider a week, I
A
guess.
week, right? How do we define a week? Is it a week, 7 days of Love Island episodes? Because that's not technically a week, but it is.
I'll say I think of a week Sunday to Saturday. So with that, it would just be two.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
are doing 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
See, Brandon's an accountant, so the math has to math, right? The math has to be mathing.
It must math, it must
It's
equate.
two, my friend, and I hope that you can be at peace with that number. The other day I was hanging out with Brandon and something happened and he was just fixating it on for hours. And I was like, this is so funny. I've never seen him do this before. And I was like, new level of friendship unlocked.
Sometimes you need a spiral to get grounded. You know?
Yeah.
It happens. What are you eating though? That looks good.
Blueberry muffins.
Ooh, I just had crumble cookie. I ordered some this weekend.
That sounds
Uh,
amazing.
it
How
was
was it this week though? Was it bad?
it was decent. There was a toffee cake, which was good. It was
Ooh.
actually like a little mini cake. And then the blueberry
A
pancake was
cake
good.
cookie?
It's basically was a cake, but it was like the size of a cookie,
Got
like a
it, got it, got
square
it.
cookie. It was random. They do that sometimes now. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
I
the
think they're running
blueberry
out of
pancake,
ideas.
I think so too. The blueberry pancake was good. Their pancake ones are usually pretty good because they have like a buttery frosting,
Mm-hmm.
which I like. We
Hmm.
got a peanut butter one, but it was too much peanut butter for me. And then their chocolate chip is always pretty decent. So, all in
Did
all,
you eat
not a
these
bad
with your
week.
parents?
Yes, I probably they're not they we still have a lot. They're not gone yet, but I've probably eaten more than they bought like a big cake for Father's Day that was at Costco for some reason. But it's like a
A
double
big one.
chocolate. Yeah, it says like it's like a bear and it says like number one dad or something.
Not a bear.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this? And it's like a chocolate cake. And I don't like
You're
that.
that is funny.
Yeah. But
I called my dad today.
oh yes, today's Father's Day when we're
Today is Father's Day.
recording. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, all the daddies, all the zaddies, all of them.
All the shade
Everyone.
of it all, daddies.
Yes, zaddies. But with that, we got quite a few episodes of Love Island to cover, so we were gonna just
Mm-hmm.
jump right into it. A lot
Get into it,
happened.
yeah.
You didn't get
Mm-hmm.
into it yet.
Uh,
Okay,
uh,
Doja.
uh, uh.
I just said
No. Oh, I was like,
Didn't
isn't that
see it.
Kaylor Ray? No, it's not. Sorry. Sorry, Doja Cat. I
No, that's cool.
apologize. I
Because girls is
publicly
players
apologize.
too.
Yeah, that's her.
Gotta catch another flight. Have a lovely wanna bite. So we're gonna be covering Love Island USA season 6,
Episodes
episodes
two,
2.
three,
Oh,
three. I'm so sorry. I just interrupted you.
no, I thought we were gonna say the same thing, 2 through 5, and I was like, "Ooh, look at us!" And then, but you said 3, and I was like, "Oh yes, 2, 3." And then I
Two.
wasn't sure if you were gonna include the 5 because it's technically the after sun. I just overthought in
Yeah.
that moment.
No, me as well. Because I was like,
Yes.
I was gonna say 2, 3, and 4. See, I missed one.
See, I knew it.
It's fine. It's fine.
We're doing 2 through 5. 5 is the after sun. Not much happened with it, but we'll address a couple things, you
It
know?
was cute, I guess. I was like, how many people are in this audience? Two or
That
five?
part. And why
I
was
was
it
like, it sounds
45
real quiet.
minutes? I'm like, I thought it would just be like 20 to 30, but it was like
Yeah.
45 minutes. I'm like, for what?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So
Yeah.
we'll go. Maybe we can add the after show where it fit with the show, like the after show comments where it's relevant.
Okay, if you
Because I
remember.
don't really see a need to like go through the whole thing, like
Oh no, I wrote literally like I
nothing.
mostly wrote Ariana's takes on a few things.
Ariana's takes were good, and then like Koi giving us nothing was really all I
Yeah. And
had.
then we did meet the 2 new bombshells, so we can say our first impressions.
Yeah.
You know, keep it cute. But
Okay.
episode 2 opens up. We were introduced at the end of episode 1 slightly to the 2 new guys, and now we
Yeah.
officially get to meet them in episode
Mm-hmm.
2. We have Hakeem and Connor. And
Hakeem
off
and
the bat,
Connor.
what are your thoughts on these 2 new guys?
Hakeem is so stinking cute. I
He's
was like,
funny.
ooh, Hakeem, he's charming.
He's a
Like, I
sweetie.
felt like Connor got a leg up coming in with Hakeem because they were kind of like together. And so Hakeem is like talking to people, getting to know people, and he's a charmer. So, like, that was cool. I felt like, and then like Connor was like this, like, stoic statue bodybuilder.
Yes.
It was so funny. They had his walk spot on because I was like, why is he walking like that? Unless he just has great posture.
No, that was actually the funniest thing when the guys were like making fun of like how Connor would walk. I think they called it like a Terminator walk. And
Yeah.
I think it was like Aaron was like, "What is that? A size small shirt? What are you doing? You're shaped like a Dorito." And I'm like, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. But
Um,
Hakeem was like putting on the charm. He was benching, I think, Kaylor. He benched Kaylor.
yes, I think so. I agree. I like Takeem a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's very charming. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not he's a fuck boy because
Oh, really?
I think he can be a sweet fuck boy. Like I don't think he's like a the ultimate fuck boy, but I can see him even though he does seem sweet. I'm on the
I don't think he's
fence.
a fuckboy at all.
I don't think he's a toxic. Well, I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
he
I
can't
gotta
be
see
a
more of him.
fuckboy. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, and Connor, like, we didn't really get a lot of like how they are relationally.
We haven't,
We didn't see
no.
them like with a girl. I mean, we saw Hakeem kind of showed his ass, but we'll talk
He
about that
did a
later.
little bit, but Hannah's a
First
little
impressions, I was like, you're
yes.
charming, you're cute.
I do agree.
Um,
Um, but yeah, Rob is shook that Liv picked him because remember, this is what the thing with Love Island with so many new episodes. I like this feels like a year ago,
it
but
does, it does.
Liv
It's old
picked
news.
Rob and he was completely surprised by that, as we
He was
were.
shook. Yes, we
Yes.
were too.
But
I thought it was. I wrote how I thought it was funny how Leah was smiling while crying. She's just like
oh yeah.
tear.
I
She's
hope it works out. And she's just sobbing while
how are you feeling? She's like, it's okay.
it's
Um,
fine. But I'm glad she stayed because I she's someone who's growing on me a lot.
Leah
Not
is growing on me a
yeah.
lot. I was like, you are the bigger woman in a lot of instances. She's growing on
Hmm.
me.
I did write here that I felt like Hakeem was trying to get employee of the month with like him just being so extra, like, oh yeah, I'm here to find love. Like, ooh, who am I gonna like he
Yeah.
seemed very like enthusiastic about it all, which I think
Oh
is his
yeah.
personality. But
I agree.
him and Connor definitely came in like Mr. Celia girl, like, we're
Oh,
coming.
definitely. They're like, where
Hmm.
the because I think I remember if I'm remembering right, he like walks in and he sees the girls and he's like, "Hey fellas, I'm going over here real quick, but I'll talk to you." Like he was like straight towards the girls, like
Yeah.
wanted to talk to the girls. And the guys were being a little salty. Like Koi was like, "I don't give a fuck." And I was like, "Koi, you're going
Yeah.
home soon, so I don't give a fuck
I know.
either."
Koi, let's look into a crystal ball to see your future.
Your future
You done.
is you
Um,
donezo.
but Connor did pull Kaylor first, I think, for a chat, and that
Yeah,
definitely made Aaron feel a type of way, which is actually very foreshadowing, I
yeah.
think, to their relationship.
Yeah, no, Connor said that Kaylor was his number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hakeem was hitting it off with Leah and Hannah.
Hannah. Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting.
Which I noticed that with both of them. I was just like, kind of throughout, like, it was always like, oh, is it Hannah or is it Kaylor? And I'm like, why is no one trying to get with like Serena or like Janae? Those are like low key the baddies of the group and like the coolest
Basically.
ones. But well, one
Yeah.
does kind of get with Janae, which will
Yeah,
be in the
yeah.
future. But at least initially, they're like, I like Kaylor. And I'm like, why? She sounds like she's
Why?
yelling every time she talks and she's crying all the time.
I think they have a type and like she just fits the type and they're not venturing out enough for me.
Yeah.
Um Liv and Rob continue to talk and they have zero chemistry. He's like, "Do you know this?" "No." She's like,
I
"Do you know
don't.
this?" "No, no, no."
They literally, it's
Like
like a dead end every conversation.
every
Like,
conversation is a dead end.
and I really don't get why she chose him.
I don't get it either. I mean, okay, so including the after show,
Oh, yeah.
one of the people from the after show, I really don't know their names. I don't know if you know their names, Brandon. It was the two girls who were from a previous season that were talking to the
I know
moderator.
one's Sally, the one that was in Orange. The other one
Girl.
was from Love Island, Australia, and I don't remember her name.
Okay, well, one of them was like they felt like Rob kind of led Liv on, like how he because when she first came and first had a conversation with him, he was like, "Yeah, I find you really attractive and stuff."
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just saying like, "I'm pretty locked in with Leah." Excuse me,
Yeah.
I really like Leah. Like they felt like he left the door open for Liv.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't see that at first. I
Yeah,
didn't
because
think so.
I didn't either, and I think Ariana kinda said it too, because she was talking about on the after show, she likes Leah and Rob, but Rob did annoy her for a minute just because she felt like he gave Liv a little more, so she was just more so like, "Why are you so shocked? Like, it's not like you gave her nothing." And I'm like, I guess
Yeah.
that's true, he didn't give her nothing. I think it was more the shock of there just wasn't chemistry.
Right.
So it
There
was
was
like
really no chemistry.
even if he said, like, a couple things, like, it didn't seem like she would, like, wanna pick him. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's what I felt like. There wasn't any, and maybe that's what his perspective was. But if you tell somebody, like, no, I'm interested in getting to know you, then you are still leaving the door open.
Yeah, it's not a
So,
no, and I guess the point of
yeah.
this is kinda to get to know more people,
Yeah.
but I don't this is like an I could never be on a show like this. I'd get
Oh my God. It's so
attached
messy.
quick, jealous quick.
Same.
I would
Same.
start a fight, like,
I'd be
I
the first one crying and I'd be like, okay, so I'm gonna
You'd be
leave
Kaylor.
because
"I'm gonna go because I don't think I can take this."
when Ariana asked me a question, it's just instant tears. Magdalene, how do you feel? Cry, tears.
Well,
I
the
was
thing
like,
about that, Ariana, is, like, I
I
don't think I
just
can do this.
no,
Can
for
I be the
real.
co-host
And then Koi's like, it's been 2 days. What do you mean? And I'm like, but 2 days of our whole life.
of our lives?
I
We
don't
know you don't
know.
feel anything, coy.
Koi. Anyway,
Um, what was it?
um,
Rob is, though, having a little bit of regret because he just feels bad kind of about his reaction, I
it
guess.
was pretty terrible.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't the
So
best.
he tries to make it up to them. He makes them avocado toast in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
Mm-hmm.
most bland looking avocado toast.
It
I
looked
don't think
and
there
then
was
some lemon juice, I think.
A little, I mean, avocado toast, like you gotta have like salt, pepper, chili powder, garlic powder, like you gotta do it up. A little
Oh,
lemon, a little chili
Brandon
lime.
is an avocado toast connoisseur.
Dress it up a
Tell
little
us
bit.
your
Throw some pickled onions on it if you're feeling frisky. Maybe even some jalapeno.
Ooh.
But like,
I mean, we don't know what kind of resources they have, but
well,
he
they're barely
tried.
smashing it into the toast because Cordell made some for Serena at one point, and he just literally cut the avocado and put it on
And put
bread.
it on the bread. I was like, Cordell,
I was like,
ask Rob how to make avocado
he
toast.
might add a little bit of something
Brandon,
else.
why is that the only breakfast we're eating?
Well, that I'll tell you why, and I wrote this down because they really like to work out, and I think that's one of the few workout friendly foods. Like
Oh.
literally every time they talk, it's just
Eggs
like,
and toast? What
I
happened to eggs
guess
and
Hannah
toast?
did make eggs once when she was trying to make up something to Kendall.
Listen, their breakfast game, poor.
It is
What are
poor,
they
but
eating for lunch and dinner?
I don't know. It's because literally like they just work out. They're like, I like to work out. One of my favorite things to do, working out. And I'm like, I guess same now because of F45, but like not really. Like I'll still eat.
Mm,
Oh
if
no.
I was in Fiji,
Right? I'm trying to have all the good food.
right.
Oh yeah, I did write that. Hakeem, he was talking to the guys and he says his type is fair skin and dark hair. So Leah and
Yeah,
Hannah is his types. And
yeah.
that's where I write, why is no one trying to talk to Serena and Janae? I did note though, I feel like the new guys were really making like the old ones kind of look like squares.
Oh yeah,
Like,
most
because I
definitely. And the
thought they
girls were like, "Who are you? Yes, come! Oh
right? They're
my gosh,
like, oh
come
my God. Because they're like good
here!"
looking. They seem to be nice. Like, even though I think Connor's low key, like more of a fuck boy and like undercover fuck boy, he seems sweet. Like, you have nerdy fucking Kendall just in the corner, like getting butthurt about literally everything. I
Oh
can't with
my
Kendall.
gosh.
I don't like him.
I was surprised this second episode that we didn't see Kendall try to talk to Liv more because he was swoon. He was like, "Liv,
Yeah. Now that you
pick
mention
me,
it.
Liv." So I don't know if he felt rejected. Kendall's kind of in his feelings. So maybe he felt rejected because she didn't pick him initially and just backed off. But I was convinced that he, after the premiere, that he was gonna like try to talk to her more, but he didn't.
Yeah. But
Um,
Hannah and Hakeem were definitely vibing, and this is where I write that Hakeem has the riz that Kendall thinks he has.
that's true. Hakeem does have great riz.
He does. He has like all the riz. He's funny. What did we say about Kendall? He has like office jokes.
Yeah, he has like dad jokes. Like, don't call me late for dinner. Like, oh my gosh, please be quiet. Never talk again.
Stop speaking.
I was kind of surprised that she didn't like him more.
Oh, I was
Hannah.
too, but I don't know.
Hakeem is so charming. I'm like, girl.
I know her mindset is a little. I don't know where she's at a lot of the time.
I know that I also understand that we need to consider that there's not a lot of time. Like
Yeah,
not a lot of time has passed.
this is true.
And I guess my first impressions aren't the same as yours. And I know they talk way more than we see.
This is
But
true. This is where we need the
so
live
maybe
feeds.
yeah, maybe right. So maybe that's why like we don't maybe there's things that Hakeem says or does that she
Y-
likes less.
I could see that because I was also wondering that with the Liv and Rob of it all, because it comes to a point without jumping too far ahead. Liv was very like butthurt after the recoupling that happens, I think, in episode 3.
Yeah, she was.
And
She
I'm like,
was.
I don't get it.
I think there's more to it, but we'll get into it.
Yeah.
And then this is when the girls are crawling to like kind of do some investigative work. It was Serena, Janae, and someone else. I think not
I think
Kaylor, because they were
Leah.
Leah. They were
Hmm.
crawling to listen to Connor and Kaylor's conversation. Um, which I thought was funny.
That was funny. I like that little trio. They're fun. I
Yeah.
did also write, I don't know, Serena reminds me a lot of the singer Brandy. There's something about her look and
Oh,
like her
she
raspy
kind of.
voice
Oh
that
yeah,
I'm
now that
like,
because she lost, I think she lost her voice. That's why she sounds like that. I'm like, I like it.
I do too. I'm like, I could listen to you talk all day.
Yeah, keep talking, please,
I'm like,
kindly.
sing me a song. Come on.
Right. So
But Leah does think though that there has to have been something more with Rob and Liv because Liv wouldn't just pick him.
yeah,
But that's where I'm kind of like, but I don't know if there was.
In a man, like I see Rob's perspective more because he's like, yeah, you're attractive and stuff. He's not rejecting her, and I think he's trying to be polite.
Yeah, he's
I
not trying
think
to be
also
rude.
Rob doesn't want to go home because this is his second time, so maybe he's
He
trying to
can't come
keep the
back
door
and then be the
open.
first one sent home.
Right. So I think he's intentionally trying to like keep the door open with Liv,
I could
but
see that.
like there's no spark. And I think that's what he was saying to
Mhm.
Leah. Like, yeah, I talked to her, but there's no spark. And I think that's fine. But to say like, oh no, I'm interested in getting to know you more. I mean, I guess that's technically what everybody's saying, right? I don't know if she should have took it to heart as much as she did.
Yeah.
Or maybe the conversation was deeper than they showed us.
Maybe. It's interesting because now that I'm thinking about it, Rob, and I wrote that Janae clocked this as well. He kind of shows no emotion, so it's kind of hard to tell how he really feels. But I
Yeah.
also kind of feel the same about Liv because she's kind of, if you think about it, her face doesn't change.
Oh no.
And she
No.
doesn't often change like her tone or like her way of speaking or anything like that. So hers is
Yeah.
also a little hard to tell too. So it's kind of just like two bland people having a bland connection. And
Conversation.
yeah, and it's just like one person kind of thinks there could be more and the other doesn't. I don't know.
Right. But it's interesting because we don't openly hear Liv like really say anything about Rob. I think she says like, I feel like he's opening up more. But that was it. It wasn't like, oh, there's
Yeah.
no spark or whatever. She was just, I guess, giving it time.
Yeah. Which I guess makes sense.
I
It's
guess.
hard because it's like they're there a while, but not necessarily because you could get sent home. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, I don't know. And then I know there's all these twists like new bombshells and like all that. So I don't know. It's interesting getting to learn this game now
Mm-hmm.
that we're watching for the first time.
And a lot of things just aren't explained. I think
Yeah.
sometimes maybe old bombshells will come back too.
True, because I think there's that one point because I think at some point Casa Amor is a thing, and I feel like that's where you go if you don't have someone.
Hmm.
Or maybe it's like new people go there and then you get sent there. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know exactly. And I'm not going to Google because I want to learn as it goes. I
Yeah,
want to
we'll
be
find out.
surprised.
But that was kind of it for episode 2, right?
Pretty much. It's just like Kaylor is Connor's number one. And like they might try to. This is where Kaylor is opening the door to like wanting to pursue more than Aaron, which will come to
Yeah.
explode by episode 4. And
Yes.
then, but then she cries because she doesn't want to lose Aaron. Liv thinks Leah should get over Rob. But no, it ends with the Rob and Leah. Rob pulls her away to have like a romantic talk moment and like kiss, have a chat in case.
I thought that was super cute. I was like, okay, Rob, you're a man of few words, but when you speak,
It's not too bad. I
it's
like
not
it.
too bad. I
And
thought
I
it was
don't,
cute.
yeah. Oh no, you go.
I was gonna say, I thought it was cute. I do think it was still sneaky, but it was cute. Like, great for Leah, not so great for Liv. Like, he's intentionally hiding that he's still connecting with Leah in a deeper way. And it's like
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. You can just say, Liv, I'm kind of feeling Leah more. I am gonna
Mm-hmm.
keep talking to her, you know, but
Yeah.
they intentionally snuck off to do it. So again, I think he's kind of trying to conserve his spot on the show. And like maybe that's why he's like, I don't know why he would hide. I don't know what he gains from hiding other than sparing Liv's feelings.
It's hard because it's like they're hiding, but they're in a dock that everyone can see.
Not really though, because it seemed like that because eventually they get caught and the
Yeah.
girls were like
They have to
on the
kind of look
balcony.
over. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the dock is pretty excluded because everybody was kind of like on the first floor the first night he took her over
Yeah.
there. Yo, his signals are so obvious. Like,
I know,
Rob,
right?
what's wrong with your arm, Rob? What are you doing, Rob? Like, it's obvious that you're calling her over or you're just being weird. And she's
Yeah.
like, look for my signal. And I was like, oh boy, let's see if she does. But Leah's very smart and she caught on and she like stuck
Yes.
over and then they had their little makeout session, which was super cute for Leah. Just he could have been more direct with Liv.
He could have, but I also didn't feel that bad for Liv because she knew Leah liked Rob, so I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
it is what
And
it
I
is.
think they were like doing makeup and Liv was just kind of passively like, Leah, I hope there's no hard feelings. So she's not doing great with managing it with the girls. Like, I see Liv care for people. She doesn't care about Leah. And we'll get
No.
into it. But like, she'll sit down and have a chat with a girl, but not Leah. Like, she intentionally doesn't have like close chats with her.
Yeah, they don't really
And she's,
interact that much.
no, she's passive aggressive a little bit.
Yeah. Which is interesting. That comes
Yeah.
into fruition during a game they have on one episode.
Bro,
And
we'll
that
talk
was a
about
lot.
it.
But we're on episode 3 now.
Episode 3.
This is where Hakeem says he's not a fuck boy. He's a lover boy. To which I say, so that means you're a fuck boy.
Oh yeah, during the game.
But we'll
So
see.
yeah, so the episode starts. Cordell and Serena are getting to know each other more. You kind of see them talking a little bit. I
Hmm.
felt like initially Serena didn't really like him that much. So here we see her trying to like talk to him a little bit more, which I thought was good. But couldn't like
Yes.
I just saw them connecting more and I was like, "Oh, maybe there's more depth there."
It seems like maybe something's building.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then Janae also likes Connor and his personality and they kind of chat. And then Hakeem and Liv are chatting. So like a couple people are having
hmm.
some conversations. And then Janae and Coy kind of have an issue. So Coy seems upset. Um and like he asks Serena about it. And then Serena starts talking for Janae and is like sharing like, oh well, she said that she kind of has a connection more with Connor and that like he talks to her more. And I was like, this is not cool. You shouldn't be saying any of this, Serena.
Yeah.
I was
It
like, if Coy wants to know, he can ask Janae.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like because he always notes when Janae and Connor are talking, but he's not doing anything to
Anything
like
about it. Yeah.
try to be like, "Oh, Janae, are you good?" or try to like change that. He kind of just like goes with it.
Right. So it's obviously on his mind, but he's not saying anything or doing anything about it.
Yeah.
With Janae, he's doing it with other people. He'll say, I think he said something to the guys at one point, but not Janae directly. So it's
No.
kind of confusing.
And then after this game, she talks to him and he still like gives her nothing. It's like
Nothing.
that's his
So it's like
opportunity maybe. And
to
he's
try,
like,
and he doesn't take it. No.
mm-hmm. But
So we play this higher or lower game.
I thought it was kind of like
This game was
problematic.
messy game.
It
Did you write
was.
down the girl body counts? Because I have all the boy ones.
Honestly, because I'm pro women and a feminist, I did not because I don't think women should be
Same.
asked their body
I didn't.
counts. So I
I
really
didn't.
only went with a lot of what the guys.
I just did with the guys because they asked questions like, "Oh, how much money have you spent on a guy?" Blah blah blah. What we really want to know is the body counts. The girls
Yeah.
reveal their body counts.
And I
And
mean,
the major thing I note for the girls' turn of the game is that
mhm,
Coy is being super passive aggressive.
yeah.
I think Janae's body count was like 24, and he's just like, "Oh, she's such a fucking liar," and I'm like, "Where
Yeah.
is this energy coming from?
He's like, that's not real. That's not real. Like he was like so
That's not what
annoyed.
she told me."
And
And
it's
it's
like,
like,
that's not even a lie. And like, regardless, even if it is, like, it's not a big, like, who cares?
I mean, if she told you two and it was 24, that's cool. But like you saying it out loud in a public forum passive aggressively is not how you talk
Would.
about that. Like,
Yeah.
especially, and I didn't realize he was being so loud she could hear him.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like just petty underhandedness. Like, Koi, obviously you have a lot on your mind. Speak up. My
Right?
gosh, you're grown ass. Like, talk. Damn.
You're
I don't
very
know. He's
soft
fucking
spoken
annoying.
for someone who's so tall and big.
And also outspoken. Like you talk shit behind people's back.
Yeah.
He is
Messy
outspoken.
Coy.
He's just not like being direct about it for some reason, as if Serena's not gonna see the tape.
Right? I don't
Anyway,
know.
Koi pissed me off.
Yeah, he was annoying. I think before we got to the body counts, Hakeem says he's never ghosted someone, to which that
Yeah.
what made me think like, okay, that's not fuckboy. That's like a good
No.
quality. And then
Yeah, and I think that's when isn't that when he oh no, it was his body count where he was like, "Yeah, I'm not a fuck boy, see?"
oh yeah. His was lower than I expected, and Connor's was
Yeah.
higher than I expected. But that's where he's sneaky. But
Mhm.
Kendall does reveal he is Odell's brother at this point. And
Yeah, they asked him how many girls have you ghosted. He said 1,001. And they're like, "What?" And he had to give an answer. So then he was like, "Oh, Odell Beckham." And the girls were like, "Oh no." Especially Hannah, because that's actually Hannah's like celebrity crush.
oh yeah.
Um and so they were like, "Oh my gosh, maybe he's watching." So I thought that they might act differently towards Cordell, but it seems like no one cares.
Yeah, everyone's just like, anyways.
Anyway,
That was
they
funny.
move on. Okay, so I have all the boy body counts, and I also have so there's two messy questions during the boy segment.
Hmm.
So they ask the boys, "What's your body count?" And I'm assuming that production asked them like early on. This was probably during like the auditioning like stage. So they've got
Probably.
this information a while ago. And then after they asked them, "What is too high for a girl?"
Yeah.
So that's when it kind of gets messy. So Kendall says his body count is 27, but for too high for a girl is in the hundreds. I'm like, okay,
Okay, yeah, all
that's
right.
I guess. Connor's body count is 53, and he said too high for a girl is 15.
That was, I was like, Connor. He did
Connor, what?
say, I think he said at one point, he was just like, I mean, I just said a number. And I was like, okay, I can kind of believe
No,
you.
you're doubling down, Connor.
He
You're
is
doubling
doubling
down.
down.
We got
But
your
at least he
ass.
wasn't rude about it after. He was kind of just, he kind of laughed about it. And
Yeah.
I wonder if he really, I'd be like, do you really mean that, Mr. 53? Um,
Yeah.
I can't. Who was next?
Hakeem said his was 24.
Which
And
wasn't as much as I thought it'd be.
yeah, no, that's pretty low. And that's when he was like, "See, I'm not a fuck boy." And he said too high for a girl is 30. And so it's like, okay, well, based on your answer, that's fair, I
It
guess.
tracks.
I mean, I'll share my opinion later. um, um, and then so I thought that was interesting that he let the girls like basically have more of a body count than his, but whatever.
Yeah.
Aaron's body count is 75, and he said too high is 10. And then we get like Kaylor's opinion on this.
Oh, yes, because wasn't it he like questions her about body counts and all that? Meanwhile, he's sleeping with anyone. And I'm
Yeah, so
like,
she's like, "He was giving me shit about this," and then his is 75, and it can't be 10.
double
Um,
standards.
double
I knew his
standards.
was going to be high. I feel like,
Aaron's.
yes, I was like, he's a
He's like,
Brit. He's like a fuck boy. He's on this dating show. It's going to be high. And then it was
why?
75. I was like, that's
Right.
actually a little lower than I thought.
Oh, really?
If he's being honest.
I don't ever really like assume I know a number. I might say, "Oh, you might have a high one," but I don't know.
Yeah,
Cordell said his body count is 30, and for the girls, it can be infinity, which was very like pro just
women.
being a decent person. And
You're
yes,
right.
pro women. Like,
Yeah, he
I'm
was
not
like, it
gonna.
doesn't matter your past as long as you're healthy. And I'm like, fair.
And you
Uh,
know what's interesting is I don't actually think I wrote this in order. I think Cordell said his number earlier. So then after this, a lot of the guys who had low number expectations for the girls were like, "Oh, but it doesn't matter." And I feel like they were saying that after Cordell did, how I remember
Probably,
it.
yeah.
I don't think I wrote it in order. I was just trying to get them down.
I don't know, you're good.
Um,
His body count
Poise,
wasn't as high as I thought it'd be because it was like
yeah, 30
20 or
is not high.
something. Or was it 30? Just
Yeah.
because, when you figure Odell's brother, like pull that card to like be like, oh, I'm Odell's brother.
Yeah, especially if you're ghosting thousands of women. Like,
Yeah.
because to ghost someone means you need to start engaging with them. So
Yeah.
you've ghosted thousands?
I wonder if
You've
it's
talked
really
to
just like
thousands?
ignored after a while, or like, like maybe we talked for a minute and then it was just like
Yeah.
stop talking.
Or maybe he doesn't mean thousands literally, but he's just like, "I've ghosted a lot of people because of my brother." He should have just
Yeah,
said that.
I think, yeah.
Um, Poise was 150 was his body count. And we hear from Janae on that one.
She's like, "What the fuck? He told me it was 100."
Yeah,
And
or
also
in the hundreds, maybe lower than 100.
yeah, and she's like, you're saying a slick comment because 'cause I'm at 22 or 24. Meanwhile, you're at 150.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what are you
noted that
talking
hers was
about?"
22 and he said 150. And then he said 10 was his like for women, that's how many people they should sleep with. And again, he's like, "Oh, no, it doesn't matter." And it's like, "Nah." And then so Janae had thoughts on this too.
Mhm. It's always the ones that have the high body counts that expect the low body counts from the significant other. And
And
it's
it's
like,
just
what
like,
is this double standard?
what
Like,
is it?
you're sleeping with all these women, but then you expect these women to not have slept with other people. Like, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
And Janae was thinking like maybe he said 150 as like an ego thing. Like he just had a big
Mhm.
ego. He was like, "Oh yeah, 150." Like he was trying to show off. And then the
Yeah.
10 just, you showed your ass. For some reason I don't have Rob's body count, but I did write that he said for girls 500 is fine.
He
And so
did.
Rob was pretty open. I can't remember his. Do you have his?
I didn't write his body count, but I did write that he says that he doesn't like to ask that question because it's immature. And I was like,
Yeah.
King?
And I just exactly. And I mean like this whole conversation of I just felt like the guys one brought up something interesting, so that's why I wrote them down. But in general, like it's just stupid to me. Like if you're with me now, like how many people you've slept with before really doesn't matter to me.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. If you're a sex addict or something, let's talk about it. But like I
Yeah.
really don't think body counts matter because it's not a reflection of you as a person.
Yeah.
Like,
I think if you're like being safe and as long as you're making sure you're healthy, or if something you do have something, as long as you're communicating that and like
mhm.
then you're letting them know. Cause there's some stuff you could still like do stuff and be fine. You just have to be like safe.
Right.
So I think it's just like about communication and making sure you're like all good. And then it's
Yeah,
like fine,
exactly.
you
And they
know?
kind of had a conversation because I think who was it Koi that was like, "Oh, I just want the person to be healthy." And they were like, "Are you healthy, Koi? 150? Are you
I
healthy?"
know, right? What do you
um
think, Coy?
yeah. And then later, so in the after show, Koi said that he didn't tell them 150. And they're like, and the moderator's like, "So
Yeah.
you told so production made it up?" And he's like, "I didn't say that." And I'm like,
What are you saying
I
then,
don't
Coy?
know.
Something if you maybe
Uh,
use your words and we would know, but you're not, and
Fuck
like
yeah, Koi. Maybe speak up. Damn, I don't
say
care for you.
something. I
I
don't
don't care
either.
for people not knowing because you just refuse to talk for some reason on a
Yeah.
dating show where you need to talk.
I'm
Except
like,
you talk behind people's back,
right. I'm like, why did you join this show? You don't seem to
literally.
like want to do anything, which
Except work out and hang out with your bros.
yeah, it's just whatever. But this
He's
is when
annoying.
Janae does kind of confront Coy or try to talk to him about his side comments.
Mhm.
And, she's basically communicating like, you don't give me anything. Like, I need clarity. And it's just like, anytime we talk, it's because I'm starting it. I'm
Mhm.
not getting any like security in this. I don't know where you're at,
Mhm.
like, and all this. And then he proceeds to give her nothing.
Yeah, he was just like, "I mean, I can talk more. Yeah, I can talk more." And I am kind of quiet. And it's just like, Koi, you had a lot to say. Like, why I'm annoyed with Koi is he was saying stuff. He just
Right.
won't say it to her. Maybe he's sparing her because his delivery may not be good or something. I don't know. Like, why else would you not just be upfront and
Yeah.
say how you feel?
And it's like, don't say
He's
you could talk more. Talk more. You're having a
talk more.
conversation. Talk.
Yeah.
You're just saying that you could talk. Why don't you talk?
Right.
I
And it's
can't.
not like he doesn't have time to talk to Janae. He's too busy. He's literally not talking to any other girl. He's
Yeah.
just kind of hanging out with the guys and working out. Koi is
Hmm.
very quiet, which is so
Very.
funny because like off first impressions, all the girls wanted Koi, and it's like, why?
How the
He's
tables
dull.
turn,
Yep.
as we will see.
Um, so that
uh,
was the game and the aftermath of the game.
yeah. Liv does see, she spots Leah and Rob in their secret meeting place. And she's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, that bitch? And I'm like, why are you so upset?
She was pissed. I mean, I I get so yeah, she sees them kind of like off on their corner, like by themselves. I see why. I think that Rob must have been leading her on, or just not being like 100% direct. Like,
Yeah.
hey, tell me what's up. Like, tell me actually how you're feeling. I think that's what
Yeah.
she wanted to know, and maybe he didn't do a good job of saying that. Because at this
Yeah.
point when she sees them on the dock, they've somebody got a text about the recoupling. So the guys know that a recoupling is coming.
Oh
Everybody's
yeah.
getting ready, and then they see Leah and Brad off on their own.
Hmm. And that a guy will be going home.
Yeah.
Um,
So at this point, Brandon, who did you want to go home?
at this point, I'm so annoyed because Twitter ruined it. I knew it was gonna be Coy.
Oh, so you didn't get a chance to be okay.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
even get a chance to think like, oh, who could it be? Like, I just knew because it literally wasn't even like a tweet. It was just like a picture of like him with all the girls picking him, and then a picture of him packing his bags. And I was like, okay, cool. I guess I know who
Bro,
goes
Twitter
home.
sucks.
I
Twitter
know. It was
sucks.
literally like an hour after the episode two. I'm like, damn, y'all, like I'm not caught up yet. Like I'm not
That's
used to
so
the schedule
funny.
yet. Starting tonight, I'm trying to be, but
Yeah.
we'll
Gotta
see.
watch it 6 p.m. No, but
Yes.
I so okay, so for me, since I didn't know, I did want Coy to go home and I felt like the cards were there. Even Coy was adding it up because he was talking to somebody, he's like, yeah, I'm at risk. I think he was talking to Connor. He's like, we're the only ones that need to worry. Which is was confusing to me later why they were surprised Coy was going home. Cause I'm like,
It
maybe
seemed
they
like he
didn't.
was self-aware.
Yeah, he was aware that he was at
Yeah.
risk to go home. But
I
maybe he
don't
didn't
know.
vocalize it to the guys that things weren't going well with him and Janae anymore.
Yeah. Um,
And then I noticed that he did talk to Janae a little bit that night, but I was like, now I feel like he's only doing that because he knows he's about to go home.
yeah.
Coy, I don't think production filled Coy in on how the show works. You have
No.
to be in a relationship to stay. You have to be in a couple to stay. If you're not in a couple, you go home. And Coy is just like, I want to work out in the morning and
I
eat
wonder if
avocado
he like
toast.
auditioned for a different show and they're like, you should be on Love Island. Because that happens a lot. People will like audition for shows and then they'll like be like, we'll go on this show. Like that used to happen like on the Real World, like and Bad Girls Club. I know this is random,
Oh,
but I would like watch this Bad Girls Club and Real World like after show, after Buzz TV. It's like this YouTube, they would like recap these. And when they would have guests from Bad Girls Club, a lot of the time they were like, I auditioned for Real World, but I guess
that's
because it
so
was the same
interesting.
production company, they were like, oh, well, what about Bad Girls Club? I guess because
Yeah.
like they didn't fit with Real World or they didn't make the cut. So they're like, but you could be on this. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, what a downgrade because like you have
For
Real
real.
World who's just like, I mean, it's messy, but Bad Girls Club, it's literally just like, get in and fist fight.
Literally, yo, I'd be so scared to go on
No,
that
because they'll
girls
fight
club.
you for no reason. I would just be like,
Oh
I'm
my
not trying to fight. I don't want to fight.
gosh. I
And then
remember
they,
seeing a
oh no, you go. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I remember seeing a girl who got beat up on Bad Girls Club, like talking about the fight that happened, and she was like, "I did not want to fight this girl. They kept saying she fights like a man. Like I was so scared to fight this girl, and I was like, bro, I'm so sorry you were in the position to
I
fight at all,
know.
man. That's
Uh,
the Bad Girls Club is like another universe. I don't like shows like that. I'm sorry, I can't get into it.
I mean, I loved it, but I would never want to be. I used to watch it all the time.
Brandon's like, it's prime entertainment, but
Prime TV, but
but don't put me on it.
no, I'm viewer. I'm the viewer.
Right.
But Ariana shows up looking amazing. It hasn't missed a
Daddy
look in my
Addy.
opinion.
She was doing the turnaround with the
Oh
like
yeah.
follow me. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
go
saw
off.
she said online that Love Island doesn't provide clothes. It's all like her and her stylist. That like
Wow.
and her stylist she's been working with for like at least over a year ever since the revenge dress. So I'm like, y'all are
Oh.
doing good picking fits because
Oh no,
like
they did great. Yeah, I'm
mhm,
surprised they didn't even provide clothes for her.
you would
I
think
mean,
they
they
would
don't seem to
provide.
provide a lot. They're just like, you guys sleep here. There's food in the fridge.
Sleep in these beds that are like 2 inches apart and it's so awkward
Bro,
when you
the
guys
beds
try
are
to
so
hook up.
small.
Uh
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was one night where someone was like, "Did you hear that?" And I
oh
was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, there's no privacy in there." Anyway.
None.
So Ariana comes for the recoupling.
Hmm. Love
Um,
Islanders, come on. Let's
come
be
on, it's
couple.
time.
Uh,
So Serena goes first. She picks
mm-hmm.
Cordell. Kaylor
Yep.
goes. She picks Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah goes. She picks Kendall, not Hakeem. And I was
Yep.
like, what?
I was
But
surprised too because they didn't show much of her and Kendall this episode.
barely, barely
Mm-hmm.
any. Had I feel like had Hannah known how much Kendall was excited about Liv, maybe her feelings would be different. But I think that he was maybe pretty consistent and just like there with her. So she just didn't
Yeah.
feel like changing. I mean, her reasons for Hakeem didn't make sense. So before this, she's having conversations with Hakeem and she's like, yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm enjoying getting to know you. They were very flirtatious. But she didn't like say directly, like, I'm not gonna stay with Kendall. Like, she wasn't
Yeah.
100%. I don't remember hearing her say 50-50. Do you?
I do at one point, kind of towards
Okay.
the end. I think she said it once to Hakeem, which I was like, okay, damn, that does sound like kind of, I don't know, you just started talking to Hakeem, but he is charismatic. And they were
Yeah.
showing more of her with Hakeem. And
I
I got
just
what she
didn't.
was saying. I think she was like worried. She's like, should I take this opportunity? Like, you're supposed to kind of
Yeah.
like venture off at some point. So, like, I understood what she was saying, but she proceeds just to get messier and messier.
Yeah, this was I so why we're talking about this is because right after this, Hakeem sits down or Liv goes and Liv chooses Hakeem. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as Hakeem sits down, Ariana asked him something like, oh, were you surprised or are you happy? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I just wish Hannah had been more direct. And Hannah's like, I was direct. And he's like, no, like just a couple hours ago, you told me you were 50-50. And I mean, that does mean she's on the fence, Hakeem. Like,
It does. It's
why are
kind
you
of,
upset?
yeah, that I don't get either because it's kind of like,
You knew she
okay,
said
well, then there's
50-50.
a chance she's not going to pick you. It's not like she's like,
Right.
oh,
That's
I'm
what
fully
50-50
with
means.
you. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird. That's where I was like, okay, Hakeem, you're low key messy and immature.
Yeah. Like, I did think that was very immature. And then it's like, oh, okay, Hakeem has a temper. Cause what? Like,
Yeah.
just, and everybody's just like, oh, like, oh,
Oh shit.
watching.
Ariana's
And then
looking like,
yeah, even Ariana was like, oh, I didn't. Uh, it
I
was a
didn't
rhetorical question,
anticipate this
Hakeem.
to happen.
No, yes or no answer. Like
Yeah.
we have stuff to do, Hakeem, and then they keep going. And Hannah's like, I felt like I was being direct with you, like fuck, and then she just kind of got upset, and they kind of moved on. But like you could tell, like Hannah was very upset. Hakeem looked annoyed, and then Liv chimed in and was like, yeah, you need to be direct
She's
if you're
throwing shade
whatever.
at Rob. I'm like, look, Liv, you picked
Yeah,
someone who was clearly into someone else. Like, I can only feel so bad for you.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. And maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But I'm just like, ugh.
Unless he was really acting like, I mean, maybe he was just being polite with her. But yeah, so Liv is kind of
Yeah.
annoyed with someone else, but chimes in and is like, yeah, you need to be direct. And I was just like, yo, this is really, I just felt like they were ganging up on Hannah because we don't know you're talking about Rob in this instant. Wait, isn't his
Yeah.
name Brad? No, it's
No, it's
Rob.
Rob. No Brads yet.
No Brads yet.
But I'm sure one will come.
But I kind of felt bad for Hannah, and she just, I can't remember what she said, but she was just like, okay, damn, like,
Yeah,
leave me
she was like, I'm
something to
over
the,
this.
that's what
Yeah.
she said. She said, I'm over it. Like, gosh.
Yeah, it was a bit much. It was just like, okay, maybe
A
talk to her
bit.
after, but like right now it's a little weird.
In front of everyone. I would have been
Yeah.
mortified. No, he would have said that and I would just cry. See, look, my default is tears. Um, I would just cry. I would just cry.
I would have been like, well, 50-50 means there's a great chance you won't get picked.
Yeah,
So,
like,
and he's like, well, it's zero now. And it's like, well, no shit, she picked someone else. So, like, I don't know what you mean.
and you're showing your ass. So obviously she doesn't like you anymore after this. But
Yeah.
then we kind of see Kendall's testimonial and he's like 50-50. I've been giving Hannah like all of my
God.
attention and time. So why is it 50-50? And I'm like, Kendall, this I believe this is day 3, maybe day 4. Fuck it, I'll give you 5 days. That girl doesn't know you. She should explore the options. Don't be
She
upset
should.
because she's exploring when you are about to jump over the balcony into Liv's.
We're
laugh.
about
You
to
know what I
cross
mean?
the pond for live. And
Oh,
now, and this
he
is the
was so
start
hype.
where we will hear Kendall say 50-50 maybe 87 times within the next episode. And I'm like, oh
There
my
was a
God.
whole conversation, and what Kendall heard clearest was
It was
50-50.
50-50. Uh
Um,
Leah does pick
um,
Rob, Avi.
yeah.
So then it's just Janae, and she's left with Connor or Coy.
Yep.
And she kind of pauses. She's like, I don't know, like this is just hard, but like I have to go with
Yeah.
my gut, and so I pick Connor.
And I
And
was like, "Yes, I know that's
yes,
right." I
bye
was happy.
Coy. And
Bye,
everyone
Chloe.
shook though. They were very shocked that she would pick not Coy. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
y'all aren't paying attention then.
Or they just haven't had a chance to fill you in, but all the boys looked pissed. Kaylor's crying, and I'm like, "Kaylor, please, girl.
Of course she's
Oh my
crying. She
god."
cries about everything. I'm like, okay, Kaylor, gosh, we
Not Kaylor
get
having no
it.
okay, Sheena, gosh,
No,
like,
she
Kaylor's
is Sheena. Oh my God. But the thing about it, what about me? Like with Coy, like what do
I
you
just really
mean?
think that Koi is a great guy. I was like, she crying just made
Then
me
why didn't you
so
pick
irritated.
him? I can't.
Literally.
Mm,
So it's just like I was like I felt like Janae really didn't have a reason to feel bad, but because of like he's going home and stuff, I think that like kind of just put a lot of added pressure on her. I felt bad for her having to make that choice. I was
I
like,
did
why'd you
too.
guys let her go last? Damn.
I know, right? Well, probably because they knew that she was deciding between the two, whereas the others were a little more straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt bad for her too, but I will say Coy left pretty graciously. Like he said he understood. He didn't
Yeah.
pull a Hakeem and try to like cause drama and like call someone out or something.
Yeah.
But
Like I think oh, go ahead.
oh no, you go.
I was gonna say, I think he said to one of the guys, like, "Oh, it's okay, like it's all right." He didn't like disparage her,
Oh yeah, no.
which is interesting because that's what he did before. And then I think she
Yeah.
felt bad and pulled him aside, like before he left, and was like, "Can I talk to you? Are we good? Is this okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well then," that was a
Bye.
very short conversation. She's like, "All right,
Um
bye." And then she was
yeah.
like, "I hope his mom's not mad at me." And I was like, "His mom."
I'm like, they probably don't care, but I get it. I get it. It feels like the end of the world when you're like in that bubble and then someone goes home. It's like, oh my gosh, they're going to die. That's what
Yeah.
people always talk about, like Big Brother, like when someone leaves the house.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm
It's like
like,
you're
that
never gonna see
is.
them again. I get
Um,
it.
Coy did say
What am I? I'm
though,
talking shit about Kaylor, and I'm like, I probably would have been crying. Like this is, it's
no,
just
that's the
so
thing.
hard.
It's just terrible. Like, I can't believe I hate change.
Oh my gosh, where's he gonna go?
No, but he
Did
was
they
the
sequester him?
best. Like the thing about it, he was
What?
my best friend for 10 years. He's
Are
my
we gonna
best
see him?
friend.
Is he gonna go back, maybe? And then they had diary messages, like goodbye messages we saw in the after show, and I was
Oh
like, now you
yeah. I don't
guys
even
gave
think I paid
goodbye
attention. I was
messages.
like, I can't.
I don't for some reason I didn't hear them, but I thought that was funny.
I think Aaron left one. I was like, okay, bye. But
Oh,
Coy
I
did
did
say
hear them.
here and on the after show that he wished he would have like kind of pursued other options, and specifically he said Serena, like he was close to picking Serena. And I do
Yeah.
wonder if maybe they would have, because as we start
Like
to learn with Serena, she's not that into Cordell.
she's not into Cordell.
But who's to
And
say if
now
she would have been into Coy?
yeah, Koi kind of sucks. Yeah, we'll get into it, but I wonder because they say there's someone here for everyone. So I wonder if Koi was there for Serena.
Maybe. And I do think,
Um,
as I'm thinking ahead, I think at the end of it all, there will be four final couples. So I wonder how that goes number wise.
oh,
And then America will vote for the winners.
this is interesting.
It is. I'm kind of like, I don't know. This is just a wild concept and a wild show.
It is.
But that was episode 3. So now we're on episode 4. And Hannah's like
Mm-hmm.
breaking down, melting and crying
Poor
all her
Hannah.
makeup away. I was like, oh,
She was big mad, which with reason. I feel like her
I
feelings are
agree.
100% valid. For some reason, Liv is taking the spot of the mediator, even though she was just kind of aggravating the conversation a little bit by
Yeah,
saying,
that
"Yeah, you need
surprised
to be
me.
direct." I was like, "Not you mediating something that you kind of made messier."
Right? She was like, you know, you're my girl. And I'm like, is she? Because you were like piling
Yeah.
on to her. But Hakeem does try to apologize, but Hannah's just over it. She's like, I can't. Like, you showed me who you are, and like I'm just upset.
I don't even think Hannah wanted. Liv was pushing Hakeem to come talk to Hannah.
Hmm.
Hannah wasn't ready to talk to him. And I think that's kind of the aftermath of what we saw. Like, give the girl some space.
Yeah,
Hakeem was like, I'm sorry if it came off bad. And it's like, no, if Hakeem, it did come off bad. Can we agree in 2024 that I'm sorry if is not an apology? It's not an
it's not.
apology.
It's
Because
not
if
if,
it,
because if there was an if, then like you are apologizing. So there's no
right,
if. It did
something
happen.
happened. Exactly.
It's n-
Exactly.
I can't. No, I agree. That
So
was
she was
the
saying that his feelings are valid, but she's just upset that he called her out, which I think is true.
yeah,
Like that wasn't the time or place to do it.
I agree.
And I just thought it was weird. It's like we're seeing a different side of Akeem. Like he kind of has a temper. And then he was just passive about it. Like if Liv didn't call him over, he wasn't gonna say anything to Hannah. But he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry if," and she's like, "Oh, whatever." And he's like, "Okay, I'll give you space."
Yeah.
It's like,
They make up the next morning, which is nice, which I think is all she needed, like you said, like space. Like she needed a moment. And
yeah,
then to be like, okay, it's fine, let me sleep, but like don't do it again.
yeah.
The narrator did say a funny joke because they were like, everyone misses Coy and Cordell's taking a nap in his size 17 shoe. And I'm like,
I
that was
thought
kind
that
of
was
funny.
funny.
Uh, but yeah, Kendall feels a way about the 50-50 comment.
Yeah,
Oh my God. We won't hear the end of that.
right.
Leah's happy to have Rob back. Liv is not, and Liv just doesn't
Hmm.
respect what Rob did. And this is where Rob says he always told her that Leah was her number one, which I couldn't remember if he had. I know he was open that Leah was like an option,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
He
But I guess number one was implied because he liked her first and didn't really like Liv, yet Liv, they were only a couple because Liv picked him.
The
I don't
problem
know.
with knowing people for a few days is you can't imply anything. Like we need to be direct. And I think
Yeah.
that was what she was saying is like you weren't direct. And he was like, I was. And she's like, you weren't. And he's like, I was. And she's like, I'm done. Like Liv didn't have the patience or Rob's not really admitting any fault. Liv is irritated, which I think is valid. Like I'd be mad too if I was saying something and you're not even gonna acknowledge what I'm saying. He's just like,
Yeah.
no, I know I told you, and she's like, no, you didn't, and so she just walks away from him, and they disagree, and they kind of leave it at that.
Yeah. If that was, two bland people having an argument that goes nowhere, who would have thought?
Ah, that's so funny. I didn't even think about it. Like they have no depth in their discussions, no depth in their arguments. There's
No,
no
nothing.
real, no one's being vulnerable. Liv is just, I mean, Liv actually, I think she handled it well. She's like, I understand if you were feeling her more. I just wish you told me. But
Yeah,
Rob was giving her nothing.
he wasn't.
So
But I'm also just like, actions speak louder than words. He's taking her for a secret doc date and he barely talking to you. What do you think? Like, I don't know.
yeah.
It's
But
comp.
if he didn't, if the doc dates weren't secret, if they were hanging out in public more, maybe that would have been a better sign to her.
Yeah, I
Because
guess
that was
that's
the night
just,
of the recoupling that she saw
yeah.
them. Had she
It's
seen them
just
before?
hard because I'm like, we didn't see him really try that hard with Liv. So that's why I'm kind of like, what are we like?
In
Shut
his
up,
eyes, he's
Liv.
like, I gave you nothing.
Like
I gave
literally, he
you
said, because
nothing.
his whole thing was just like, I mean, I'm open because I don't want you to go home because I know what it's like to go home because
Mm-hmm.
someone didn't give me a chance. So I'll give you a
Mm-hmm.
chance. But it's like, then it just didn't go anywhere because they had no chemistry. So he just kind of
Yeah.
was like, I like Leah. And it's like, yeah, Leah's a baddie and her outfits are like amazing. I love her
And
like
if
two pieces that she always wears.
no, I get it. And if maybe the problem is like Liv is just not connecting with anybody else, which is weird because I felt like Hakeem was spitting game. Hakeem was giving it his all. Every the best lines, like Hakeem was trying with Liv. Maybe she really just liked Rob, or she just feels like he made her look stupid. Because I remember her saying
I
that
think
too.
that's the thing. She's worried how she's gonna look. And I'm like, I don't think you look that stupid. I think you picking him was the stupid look. Everything after that, I'm
Yeah,
like, eh. But
yeah.
Kaylor does do the worm at one point, which I made note of because remember her intro? She was like, I like to do the worm, or like one of
Oh
the
yeah, because somebody
bio.
else tried to do it, and she really is good at the worm.
um,
And then they kind of go to sleep for the night, and then the next
yes.
day starts.
The next day they do the vacation vixens game. Or wait, didn't Hannah, is this before that, did Hannah make
Yeah.
Kendall breakfast?
She made him avocado toast with eggs, and she was like, "Hey, I
Yes.
just wanted to apologize about last night. I'm sorry, I was 50-50, I wanted to give him a chance." And that's when Kendall kind of shares his perspective.
Yeah. I thought her apology was good. It made sense. It was real. It was just like, look, this is wild. Like, I'm just getting to know people, but like ultimately, like, I like you, like you make me feel this way. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
and Kendall was like, "That's cool, but I don't trust you
But I don't like
anymore."
50-50.
50-50. He's like, "I've been giving you 1,000%
And
of
I'm like,
Kendall,
have
of
you?
me, Kendall. How
Sit
could you
down,
say
Kendall
no to
Jenner.
this?"
I can't.
And
Get
so
over it.
he was like, I'm not, we're kind of taking a step back. I don't think he told her. I think he kind of said that to her a little bit, like, "I'm not feeling it the same way."
A little. I think he was just like, oh, that made me feel type of way. And then he was telling us or like other people, he was just like, I'm gonna be more open to other things.
Right, but he didn't explicitly say that to Hannah. I wish he was a
No.
little more direct, like, "Oh, okay, I get what you're saying, and I should be more open to." And I think
Yeah.
that's what kind of leads her to kind of misunderstand him a little bit, because in their breakfast talk, he seems like he's cool with it, like, "Oh, I get it, I understand. I mean, I did feel a type of way, but I understand."
Yeah. Well, I think it gets worse after this Vacation Vixens game,
Yeah, I
which
noted
is
that
a
this
wild game.
this game has so many moving parts.
It did. I was like, this was like one of those like Big Brother like story time like random pop-up games. It's like
Yeah.
first go up, and then you take off your stewardess outfit until you're just in the
Mhm.
bikini. Then you twerk.
You
Then you
twerk
go
down
down
the
the
slide.
slide.
No,
Then
no, twerking and going down the slide are one step.
that is true. Serena did that great. They showed Serena as an example. She bodied
Serena!
it. I was like, okay, Serena, you
Oh
better
my
pop
god,
off.
Serena, yes!
Yes. And then
Serena
you
said,
play in
"I
the sand and rub the sand all
on
over
your
you.
wet body."
Yes. And then you get a message from a bottle, and it's a shady question.
A
And you have
shady
to
question.
throw water at who you think is the most whatever, who has the most
Mhm.
red flags, who does this, whatever. And then you get a stick, and you have to throw it at the guys and pick which guy you want to kiss under the waterfall. And then they take you to the waterfall and they make out with you.
They have to pick them up and make out with them. Then they have to drop them on the ground and make out with them more. I'm
Yeah.
almost 100% sure this is a requirement, because when Hakeem ends up doing it with Hannah, I was like, why did he could have, so I think that they have to do it like that.
Yeah, that was funny when she did it. But overall, I just wrote down some highlights, like
Yes.
specifically Kaylor targeting Hakeem to kiss.
Thought that was wild.
That was, and Aaron was pissed.
Aaron was big mad. Aaron was like,
Yes.
what the actual
What the fuck
fuck?
was she doing? She playing games with me. I don't like people
What?
playing games with me. I don't appreciate this at all. Like, what am I gonna look like a wanker? She's over here kissing a king, and I'm over here just in my speedo, just looking like this. Like, what do you mean is happening right now? Like, I'm over here with
That's
my
actually
red
how
face,
he
and I
spoke.
look like Woody from Toy Story, but that's fine. Like, why isn't she trying to fancy me? Like, what's happening? He spoke like 87 million miles a minute. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's how he talks when he's mad. I don't think Aaron kissed anyone then.
Um, No, I don't think. No, he did. He kissed Serena because she meant to.
Oh, by
She was
mistake.
going for Cordell. She missed and hit him, but then it was like nothing. They were like, we're like brother and sister. Like this is like nothing.
Right.
And I'm like,
I
that was
think
funny.
I think Serena and Janae are the only people who, well, never mind.
What?
I was gonna say, I think they were the only people who picked their partners, like the person they were coupled up with.
They were. I think they were, which was weird because you
And
would
all the
think,
other girls were like doing different things.
yes, they were playing games, which I kind of appreciated. But Leah did pick Rob as the most two-faced,
Yeah.
which was interesting because she's like her spidey senses. She's like, I feel like there was more with Liv. I'm like,
Yep.
maybe there was a little more, but I don't know. Unless there's
Not
something
a
they're
whole
not
lot.
showing us, I'm like,
Right.
not enough to get mad about.
Right.
But she chooses Kendall to kiss, which
Yeah.
was random, but
Random.
Rob also didn't care, which I thought was cool.
Rob didn't care. Yeah, I thought he would. Later, he kind of, I think he cares a little bit, but not much.
Not like enough. He's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of weird, but whatever. And
Yeah.
like,
Hannah intentionally targets Hakeem, and their kiss is very awkward. So Hannah is like, I she said some did you catch her reason? She was like, I blah 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 blah, so I want to kiss Hakeem. And it was like,
it was
what?
something like, I know he misses me or something
Oh
like that.
yeah. And she's like, so I want to pick Hakeem. And Hakeem looked irritated. Hakeem was like, what?
He
But then
did.
they barely kiss. It was super awkward. And then he kind of like
She almost
drops her on.
drowned. She's like, oh my God, that was the funniest shit.
And again, Kendall is
Oh
big
my God,
mad.
Kendall, the sad, sad, bring out the clouds, send out the clouds. He was so upset. And like, I
He was
kind of
so
got it
mad.
because Hannah was like, I'm doing it because it's hilarious. And I'm like, is it just, you
That's
know,
not
Kendall's
funny.
sensitive. Like, pick Kendall because now Kendall's big mad.
Yeah, no, Kendall's pissed, and I think his feelings are valid. It's like, you just told me, you just had this apology breakfast. You just told me I'm your number one, and you want to make that clear. Then when you have the choice to pick somebody to kiss, you intentionally pick someone else. I think Serena broke this down for her later, and she was like, "Oh,"
Yeah,
and I'm
you
like,
literally just did the breakfast thing. Maybe she hadn't done the breakfast thing. It could have,
yeah.
but like, it literally was just like, you're
But
talking
I
out of
also
both sides of your mouth.
But I also don't think he made it explicitly clear how upset he was, because he's very upset. But
Yeah.
he kind of brushed it off during their breakfast, and in his confessionals, he's like being more honest. So I don't think Hannah really knew how mad he was, but also like, girl, what? You didn't help yourself.
Yeah. And then
Oh gosh.
Liv. I
So
didn't
Liv
like what
goes,
Liv did here.
this was so bad. So Liv picked a question. I don't even remember what the question is, because you have to throw water at a
Who's the
girl and you have
most
to throw at a guy.
two-faced?
Liv got that one too?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they
Okay.
got, yeah. I wrote that down at least. If not, so sorry. But
Well,
something
Liv
like that.
Well, she walks over to Kaylor and is like, "You sneaky bitch," and they're like, "Ah," and she yeets the water, like throws it hard into
Yeah.
Leah's face.
Poor Leah. She looked so
Poor Leah
shocked.
was just like shocked, and then like kind of just like was getting the water out of her eyes, and I was like, "This is unnecessary. All
Yeah.
of it. Liv, you're mean. That was mean." That was
Yes.
very, very mean and completely uncalled for.
Especially because if we really want to get into who did who wrong, you did Leah wrong first.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's like, what are you mad at Leah about?
Right. It's not Leah's fault that Rob likes her.
Are
Leah
you
actually
intimidated
hasn't
because
done
Leah's a
anything to.
baddie? Mm.
I'm like, I don't know how to respond because I don't think Leah's a baddie. Like, she's just a nice girl.
I think Leah's a low-key baddie. I got Maggie silent. I got Maggie on the mute. She's like,
Be mean. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean
I
because,
get what
it
you
all
mean.
depends.
She's more sweet. She's more sweet
She's
and
sweet.
soft-spoken.
Yes, like, Liv, you exude this confidence, yet you're mad at this little girl who smiles all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Leah is very nice. She's very beautiful, but like, I just feel like Liv is just being petty. She's being petty for no reason. Like, if that's not your competition, the boy
Yeah.
just liked her. She's not competition.
Yeah. You pick someone who is into someone else again. But
Again,
she
I
did
think she'll
also
watch it back and realize how silly she looks.
maybe. But she did also say Rob is a walking red flag, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, so she threw the water at Rob, but instead of being petty, she actually dumped it on his head.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, the game kind of ends after this, and I was like, that was really mean. And Rob in his little like confessional was like, that was kind of unnecessary. Like, she didn't need to do that, and I
Yeah.
agree.
I agree too. After the game, though, we pretty much get confirmation that Serena is not into Cordell.
Yeah.
Because at first she's like, oh, because I missed him on the kiss, I'm gonna give him a kiss tonight. And
Mhm.
you're like, okay. But then when she starts to talk to him, she's like, I don't want to kiss. Because she
Yeah.
thinks his answers are all scripted. And
I,
and I'm like, I guess I could see that. Maybe she has that in her head too, because he said he wants to be an actor. I don't know.
she just doesn't like him.
She doesn't, because she's like, it's more of a friend thing. It's not romantic. And I'm like, that's valid.
That's valid. Like you can say that. I think that his answers sound scripted because they're not what you want to hear. I think that's
Right.
what it is. Like I don't which is so funny this is ironic because I feel like Cordell came off as like this arrogant F boy.
Hmm.
Turns out he's really nice, very
He's really
patient,
sweet.
very easygoing, very sweet. Like the fact that they haven't kissed, I feel like some guys would be like, "Oh, not a kiss yet," and he's like, "No, I'm taking it. I want to be patient with her. I want to give her time." Like he's being very, very respectful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Serena is just used to guys like being like maybe he's too nice and that's what she doesn't like. But out of the
Maybe.
whole cast, he is the sweetest guy. Like in terms of how he is relationally. Like
He
I feel
seems
like
like
we've
he's in
actually
his
seen his
soft
soft side.
boy era.
Yeah, and I actually like that. Which is so funny because in his like like his first clip of him, he was talking about booty clapping and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
he's like, "But we'll take our time and work towards the booty clapping, I
And it's like,
guess."
okay, respectful king.
Yeah, he's really nice to her, but she's
He
not
is,
feeling
but
it.
yeah,
And
she's just not.
I don't think she explicitly told him that either. She was just like,
No.
"Your answer sounds scripted," but and he kind of laughed and said like, "Maybe I need to open up more." Because he did say, "I do think about what I'm gonna say before I say it,"
Yeah.
but I
They're
don't know.
kind
Poor
of, I don't know,
Cordell.
because he thinks they're good, but she's kind of telling him with like, in so many words, like, I'm not into you. But then when he was talking to Kendall after, Kendall was like, well, what did she say? And he was like, well, she said,
Oh, he didn't remember.
I don't remember. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
because
so
he
you
was
don't
like,
listen.
yeah, because Kendall asked him, "Well, how can you work towards it?" And he was like, "Oh, working towards it."
Which is maybe what Serena
Mm,
might be picking up on.
is that he's
Maybe
not listening.
he's not listening, and maybe it's just like he's just saying the right things. Maybe there's
That makes
something
sense.
underlying. But Kendall and Hakeem do talk, and Hakeem's basically like, yes, Hannah was telling me 50-50, and Kendall's like 50-50,
Yeah,
50-50, 50-50, 50-50. And I'm like, oh, get over it. Even though I
get
get it
over
after the
it.
game, but I'm like,
I get
okay.
it after the game. She really only said it once, but whatever.
Yeah.
Aaron was salty. Aaron was
Oh,
big mad.
so salty. This is like basically like the end of the episode, all this drama, because like
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's so mad that Kaylor chose Hakeem to kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like they talk about it, and I feel like Kaylor immediately kind of starts crying.
Yeah, Kaylor
And
was very
she
yeah.
confuses me because I'm like, okay, you say you want to explore your options and you don't want to regret anything. And I'm like, okay, valid. But then you're like, but I don't want to lose Aaron because he's my best friend and I like him more than anyone. And I'm like, then
So
why are you consistently? Because he's like, say what we will, like, it seems like Aaron has his own things. Like, I guess when he was like questioning her about body count and all that. And I'm like, maybe that's what you're picking up on, Kaylor. Maybe you need to like just lean
yeah.
into that you're just not compatible. But, like, he's not really pursuing anyone else or, like,
Mm-mm.
embarrassing her in that way.
No.
So, I'm like, "Just stop picking other people to kiss."
Right. Like you if you want to be with Aaron, be with Aaron. Why did you kiss Akeem? And she was like, "Well,
Yeah.
it was a game and it was fun." And he's like, "No." And I kind of agree with him. Like that would have been
Yeah.
a cool time for us to have a hot steamy kiss under a waterfall. When do we get to do that, Kaylor?
Right? I will
Mm,
say, I did right. I find it funny that these women have these men in such a tizzy. They're like, this one
literally,
game,
they're
and
all
they're
shook.
shook. They're
All the
like,
guys are shook.
What's happening?"
What's going
And I
on?
kind of like this reversal because usually I feel like it's the men playing the games, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of
No.
fun that the women are playing the games.
No, that's how last season started, and I was so irritated. And it's like, okay, the girls have the upper hand, and it's about to flip. We're gonna see the guys do it when these two new bombshells come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Aaron was really upset. Kaylor was trying to explain. Kaylor defended herself at first. And then
Mhm.
Aaron was like, "No, but like, if you really are here for me or you want to be with me, then I need to like see that action." And she's like, "Well, I'm sorry that you're upset about this. I didn't mean to make you upset." And he was like, "Well, I'm just going to keep my options open then. So the next time somebody comes in, I'm going to be." And they kind of like didn't resolve it.
Yeah, no. She
Aaron was
just
just angry.
yeah, he was angry. She cries to live. And then
Liv is like the person to go to when you're upset. No, cuz no,
yeah.
no, they split off.
Oh yeah.
And Rob goes after
Rob go yeah, yeah, yeah.
Aaron and Liv goes after
Oh yeah, they run
Kaylor
off
to like
Rob with
comfort
his
her.
overalls and nothing underneath.
I
Which I
was
was
like,
like, that
this
was a
is
choice.
different. I was like, Rob, did you run out of clothes already? He was like, I'm only
Maybe.
gonna be here for a couple days, like last time.
Rob
But
was
yeah.
good with Aaron. He was just like, don't get too much. Just like try to like see it through and don't let this derail you. If you really like her, like try to work through it. And I'm like,
And then
okay.
Aaron's like, no, the next time a bombshell comes in, I'm going after
I'm
her.
going
He was
after the
like
bombshell. And then
he
I
didn't
did
he
write
didn't listen
though.
to Rob at all.
No, he was very much in his feels. He's very I wrote Kaylor's very emotionally immature. He is as well. But I
Yeah.
just think Kaylor, because anytime Kaylor gets questioned even a little bit, she just cries. And I'm like,
Me.
why are you crying? You don't
The
cry
reason
as
why
much.
the reason Brendan, you should have seen me this weekend, boy.
Oh,
I was going through it.
oh my gosh, that's funny.
Sometimes PMS just comes up out of nowhere. I'm like, laddie, laddie, laddie. And then it's like, no, anger,
Sob.
sadness, regret, sorrow, shame.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
that's why I've been emotional this weekend. But with Kaylor, I feel like I can understand it a little bit because for me, when I'm put on the spot and when I feel vulnerable,
Hmm.
I feel emotional
Yeah,
because this is like a sensitive thing. This is something I care about. I'm
yeah,
talking to you about it. Maybe it doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but like I just feel vulnerable. And that's where the tears come from. They could be angry tears or sad tears, but that's
yeah,
just where it comes from, where I'm just like, I'm just so irritated or I'm just so sad about this that it's like the
yeah.
tears come. Kaylor is me. I am Kaylor.
I guess. I think she's only 22 as well. So I'm
Oh
kind of
my
like,
gosh, she's a baby.
she's young.
y'all got this little girl on this show.
With her big hair that stands out in her town 'cause she wears designer. Uh,
You have
but
yet to see the designer.
we've yet to see it. What is it? Yeah, the fashions, they're pretty like they're good. I like what they wear, but I've noticed Serena's is always like cute and I like Leah's look.
Liv
Um,
eats every time.
she does.
Liv eats. Her outfits have stood out the most to me. She
Mm.
was wearing the last one. She was wearing the black one where it was like basically like like a dressy bikini thing. I don't
Ooh.
know. Do you know the name of it, Brandon? I don't know what it's called.
No, because I don't remember it. But I believe you because she does always look put together with her clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I
were
like
right.
it.
Kaylor is 22.
So she's young, so I get it. But I'm also like, anyways.
Yeah. But
Um,
Liv is trying to I thought it was oh, go ahead.
oh no, you go.
Well, Liv was trying to comfort her, and Kaylor, she's like, Kaylor, talk to me, and Kaylor is giving her nothing. She's like, okay, well, just hug me. I was like, maybe leave her alone, Liv. Damn, this girl doesn't know you. Like, you don't know these
Yeah.
people. She's like Liv. I appreciate Liv being kind, but she's
Hmm.
kind of doing too much. Like, she's like
Yeah, sometimes I just
pushing
need a
Hannah.
moment.
Right, like give them a second. You don't know them, but I mean, your intentions are good. Just read the room. Like she really didn't want to talk to you,
She did not. But that
but
was
she just kind
funny.
of opens up, and she just feels like it's over between them. He doesn't want to try,
And
and
I
she just feels like
mean,
that's what he's gonna say is it's over. Um,
well, she may be onto something because there's two new bombshells entering, and Andrea is coming for Aaron. So she better watch out.
isn't that crazy that the bombshells get to watch or
It
like get to know the people somehow? I
it
was like,
is a
that's kind
little
of messed
wild.
up.
I'm like,
I was
that's
like,
kind of
that's
like an
not fair.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's two new ones. There's Andrea and Nicole. And Andrea said she's coming for Aaron. Nicole said she's coming for Kendall, which is interesting because those are the two like Hannah and Kaylor are having the struggles with them. I wonder though, I guess because if we're thinking this way, if there's two new ones coming, then that means that the next recoupling that two girls may be going home, which I got a little.
True, yeah.
protective over the OGs. I'm like, who are these new people coming in? Like,
Oh my
I don't know if I want,
gosh.
like, I make fun of Kaylor and Hannah, but I'm like, I don't know if I want them to go, like, because of these
I
two
wouldn't be mad
newbies.
if Hannah left.
I mean, ultimately, probably not, but I was just a little like, damn, like, y'all coming
Yeah,
for our OGs? Um,
I don't
but
care.
Maggie's like, good
Yeah,
riddance.
bye. I
Gotta
don't feel
go.
protected. If you're not Janae, Serena, or Leah,
I mean,
toodaloo.
I
Actually,
feel
Kaylor,
that.
I like Liv too. Yeah, I want the four of them to stay.
Those are the
Kaylor,
core four.
I can understand Kaylor, but wouldn't be mad if she went home either. But
Yeah. I
those are my
wonder if it
core
would be
four.
like when in the beginning when it was like, oh, maybe Leah was supposed to go home and then they brought the two new guys. If maybe that's
Oh
how they'll do
yeah,
it. Maybe
poor
only like
Leah.
one goes home. I know, poor Leah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that worked
I
out
felt
for
so
her.
bad for her. I
Uh,
also though, so let's talk about the couples real quick at this point.
oh yes. Okay.
Strongest what wait. Just to rewind a second. Before they go down for the recoupling. No. Before they go downstairs just to like hang out for the night. It's so funny. They're all getting dressed up to go nowhere.
I know, right?
I was like, are you guys going out?
I
Like
always think about that.
everybody
I'm
was
like,
like
where are y'all going? You're just going
everybody got
downstairs.
Rob is the only one who's with it. He's like, I'm just putting my overalls on because we're just gonna hang out in the villa tonight.
Right. Uh,
As they're getting dressed, Liv apologizes to Leah. She was like, I was just joking. And Leah's like, yeah, it's okay. And I was like, no, Leah, stand up
yeah.
for yourself because that was mean. That was not funny. That was not a joke.
Yeah. I wonder if they talk more than they show again because it seems
Again,
like they
yeah.
get along and maybe she just did it. I get a feeling with Liv. I wonder if she's been on a show before. I don't
Hmm.
know her because she's like from Australia, so I wonder maybe was she in Love Island Australia? Was she in like because a lot of people like in like Australia or like the UK, they're often in like a bunch of different shows.
That
Like they
makes
kind of just
sense.
go to different shows. So I'm like, she seems a little like I know what to do to make good TV. She does it kind of seamlessly though,
Mm.
to where it doesn't look so
Hmm.
obvious. Like I
Yeah.
would say picking Rob, even though it's clear he's with Leah, or throwing the water at Leah, but kind of faking it
Yeah.
out, or like the being mad at Rob. A part of me, that's why I'm kind of like whatever. A part of me feels like maybe she doesn't feel that way, but she's like she knows
Yeah.
it's kind of some drama, so she's like leaning into it.
That's an interesting theory. Like, yeah, maybe she's done this before because the way she moves is interesting. We'll
It
see.
is. We'll see.
Because yeah, but I just felt I kind of wish Leah like I mean, what's Leah gonna do? You
That
know, like
part, you
no,
know.
that
She's
was
just a sweet girl.
no. She's so nice. Like she's kind of passive aggressive and I'm like not me. The two girls I can sympathize with the most are Leah and Kaylor.
You're like the
Cuz
sweeties that cry.
nah, if somebody threw water in my face, I think I would have cried in the moment so you feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
Sometimes tears are weapons.
Tears are
Okay?
weapon.
Sometimes when you cry, you can be strategic and make someone feel bad. If she
Oh
had
my
cried in
gosh.
that moment, Liv would have felt awful.
She would have. Yeah, you would have either cried or you would have confronted,
I
you
would have
know?
said something. I don't think
Yeah,
I would
been
have let
like,
that
what the
girl throw
fuck,
water in my
bitch?
face.
Like,
Like,
at
yo,
least that.
that's not funny. That was very disrespectful. I don't like it, and you can keep your distance or something. I don't know. I would have just like been like, okay, now I see how you really are.
Gotcha,
And they
Liv.
just kind of brushed over it. Nobody said nobody. The girls were like, while Leah was like fixing her face, like touching her eye, the girls were just standing around, and I'm like, you all just let this happen. No one
Yeah.
said anything. That's
They
messed up.
I did find it funny going back to that, how Janae and Serena would just like throw the water like and twerk.
Yeah,
Like every time. I'm like, that's funny.
yeah,
But that was episode 4, and then episode 5 was the After Sun. We've talked about most of it.
yeah.
It's
That was
hosted
it.
by Mara Higgins, who I think was
Mm-hmm.
on some Love Island, Australia,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. I don't know, but she seems cool. Uh, Ariana came on. We talked about how she was annoyed with Rob, but likes Leah and Rob. They did ask her like, "Who's your type, looks wise and personality wise?" And she said, looks wise, her type was Coy, but personality wise, it was Aaron. It's like Aaron complimented her or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And then she thought Janae handled herself perfectly with like the Coy situation.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
hmm And then Coy, We got nothing. But we
Boy
did
said
get to
nothing.
meet the two new bombshells a little bit.
Mhm.
Andrea, she's from Miami. She's ready to find her husband, and she's coming for Aaron because she loves accents, but she also kind of likes Rob.
Mm.
So that could be interesting if this would
Mhm.
test Rob and Leah. They seem tight,
Mhm.
but this would be the ultimate test to see. And then we got Nicole from Nevada, who currently lives in Sacramento. She's 26. She sells skin grafts because she's in medical sales, and she's coming for either Cordell, Hakeem, or Kendall. But overall, they seem nice and like
I
pretty.
think she's Hakeem. Well, no, she's not Hakeem's type. The other one, Andrea's Hakeem's type. We'll see. I feel like
Well,
they're
she
like
might be because she's like brunette. I don't know.
the doctor, the nurse lady is a brunette.
Yeah, she was like
Oh,
brunette.
the first girl was blonde.
The first girl was blonde. The one from Miami
Oh,
was
okay.
blonde. Yeah.
Okay. So then yeah, they might Hakeem might like her.
Yeah. I feel like Connor will go for the blonde. But no, he's
Yeah,
with Janae now, and they seem to kind of like each other. I
they
don't know.
do.
I'd be interested
It's
to
not
see
there's not a
them.
big spark. I
Not
was
a
gonna say
big,
let's
but
rate the
like,
couples, but we really haven't seen them like
oh
be
yeah.
coupley this time. So maybe next time we'll have a better idea of like how the couples are doing.
Maybe
Because
because
we
it's
really
just
haven't seen much.
a lot of them seem like they're either new or they're on the cusp of like changing. Because
Yeah.
Serena and Cordell, though sweet, it seems like it's not romantic. It seems
Right.
like Hannah and Kendall are falling apart.
Yep.
Hakeem and Liv are only a couple for convenience sake.
Yeah, I don't know if they're really liking each other.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. We haven't seen it. Same
Janae
with
and
Connor and
Connor,
yeah.
it seems, I would say they have more of a connection, but it's just like it's just beginning, so who's to
Yeah.
say? And then Lee and Rob are kind of the solid ones, I think.
Yeah, Leanne and Rob are the most solid. So everybody else is
Yeah.
kind of shaky right now. So we'll see.
Yes, but with all of that being said, those were all the episodes. Went through
Yeah,
those. That was fun.
we did. We did.
Yes.
Stay tuned for the next 3 episodes. We'll cover them on
Yes.
Wednesday.
Yes, we'll be recording Wednesday and we'll be going over Sunday's episode, Mondays and Tuesdays. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be 6, 7, 8. Yeah. We'll keep track of
Mm-hmm.
these. It's a lot. It's gonna be a lot, but we got this.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks
Make
for tuning
sure,
in.
yes, make sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at the Shade of It
Mm-hmm.
All. You can give us 5 stars. If you want to see our beautiful faces though, and watch instead of just listening, you can follow us on YouTube, subscribe
YouTube.
to the Shade of It All podcast, and then follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Shade of It All podcast. Post a bunch of fun clips. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.